ILIT presents you Future Vista, New Age Careers.
Today's session is on entrepreneurship, the power of innovation and idea. Are you thinking of starting a business of your own? Only a generation ago, youth focused on well-defined and tried and tested career opportunities. Today, entrepreneurship has become one of the significant career choices being pursued by the youth, which give them the liberty to be their own boss, follow their passion, and generate employment instead of employment seeker. To start a business, you have to prepare yourself financially as well as emotionally. Your passion for your product, service, or an idea and the tolerance for risk are the major points which will help you to run a business successfully. The entrepreneurial career is more of a story and less of a path or even a series of steps. When you choose the entrepreneurial career, you are choosing to take control of your own career. You are the author of your story and you decide what chapters will be.
That what is the driving force like joining the entrepreneurship league?
Different people have different motivations for entrepreneurship. So for some it's money, for some it's something else. For me it's making unhappy faces happy, using technology, using creativity, and when I see somebody's life has transformed because of something I have done, it makes me feel like good, life well spent. And as a byproduct, because they're happy and they value the service I'm providing, they pay me for it. So that's a added benefit.
Now we have a very colorful picture of Mr. Vishal's autobiography. Okay, like how he started his business. Okay, it would be great like if you can share in front of our students.
Going back in history, so I graduated from IIT Kharagpur and then I went abroad for my higher studies. And that was the first time when I saw, people taking 1 year leave, this, that, and traveling the world. So I was like very jealous of them that how can these people take 1 year leave and just travel the world? And I was like thinking that, I haven't done anything in my life. And I was like very depressed because that was my first country that I visited. Moving forward, then I got a job in Singapore. I was also transferred to Jakarta, etc. And then I realized that in this job, I am not getting much growth, and then there were some layoffs happening at the job. So I thought, okay, they are like laying off people. So आज नहीं तो कल मेरा भी दिन आ ही जाएगा शायद. So let me just redeem myself. So just like all engineers do, they go for MBA to redeem themselves. पाप का प्रायश्चित इंजीनियर लोग कैसे करते हैं? MBA करके. So I also thought I also do MBA. So, but then again, it was like where to get married, where to do my MBA. So I actually went on a 100-day world tour of B schools, and I actually visited 31 B schools to really find where I should get married. And this budget of MBA was roughly 1 crore. So I said, okay, let me spend this 10 lakh at least to, meet my future college first before deciding which college I want to go to. And then I realized that actually maybe this is the exposure that people need to really decide on their career, MBA versus startup dilemma, let's say, and other things also. So it's like job, MBA, startup. And then I decided that, okay, let me not do MBA and let me save the 90 lakh rupees and use it to start my own startup, which is called Learning While Traveling. So it's basically an educational tour. So we take people on trip to various countries and on this trip they get to self-realize if they wish to do a startup, they wish to do a job, or they wish to do MBA. And while traveling there are so many distractions. So amidst of all distractions, if you're really able to focus, you should go for entrepreneurship. And that is the time when you realize where your focus lies. MBA, entrepreneurship, or job?
I specifically wanted to have Sagar in this session because he's a very fresh graduate, just out of the college. I think 2 years back or 3 years back? 2 years back. So after graduating, he started his own business. So I thought like he will be the best person to give you the idea like why business. after graduating. So Sagar, if you can share like why you chose to be an entrepreneur rather than taking up jobs, any other profession.
I think when I passed out my 12th standard, then one sudden day my teacher asked me, Sagar, what do you want to be in your life? And I said like, ma'am, I want to be an entrepreneur. And that time I couldn't pronounce entrepreneur properly. And she heard like, I want to be an entertainer. And she said like, why? Do you want to be an entertainer? Why all of a sudden? I was like, no, ma'am, not entertainer. I'm talking about entrepreneur. And because that time I was actually using that word for the first time. Till the class 12th standard, I didn't have any idea about entrepreneurship. And it's very usual because from my entire school days, school life, nobody talked about it. I learned about history, geography, biology, etc. But nobody talked about business, nobody talked about entrepreneurship, nobody talked about the other entrepreneurs who have made something in their life. So first time after 12th, I got to know about entrepreneurship. And then I found that this is something which I actually like. This is something which I actually relate myself with. Because from the very initial days, I was very much interested in technology and psychology. These are some weird combination. Usually people like any of these, but yeah, I used to like both of these. And I found that entrepreneurship is something where I need to understand the customer psychology and then find out some solution to solve those problems using technology. So it's a perfect combination of technology and psychology. And that's why I chose like, okay, let's do something in this field. And again, I didn't want to be an entrepreneur. This is just a title which got assigned to my name. But from the very day one, I wanted to create a business which will generate employment, which will create a job for others. And right now, I'm even proud to say that at least I have 15 employees in my company. So instead of waiting for a job, instead of waiting for placement from my college, even I got placement offers from my college. But I could give placement to other students like me. And this is something why I chose to be an entrepreneur.
Great, Sagar. Great, Sagar. You shared the story. Now, I'd like to ask Mr. Roy. There are some misconceptions. Okay, misconception as in like entrepreneur, businessman. So there is a clear difference or differentiation between an entrepreneur and a businessman. So if you can clear out exactly what we mean to say about an entrepreneur, I think it will be easy for our students to understand, like why choose a course in BBA entrepreneurship.
So it's semantics, really. But according to the Government of India, Startup India definition, an entrepreneur is somebody who builds a startup that is tech-enabled, and there is something unique about it. A businessman happens to be somebody who's running a business that is more traditional. Now, tech entrepreneurs building a startup do become businessmen eventually when they have already a validated business model and they're able to scale it up just like any other business. But that initial phase where we are figuring out what is the right product for the right market, that phase of experimentation is called the startup phase, where we really don't know much. In fact, most entrepreneurs start with a certain idea and the market evolves them as you go along. A lot of times you guys reach out to me and ask, sir, amar ei idea ta ache, I have this idea and I don't know how to go around. I'm waiting for the best idea to come to me. It won't happen. You'll start with something and eventually you'll get evolved into something else that you never imagined. But that's how it works. So that's the startup phase. It's the first 6 months, 2 years, 3 years, whatever that time period might be. You're evolving into something else. So Groupon in the US is still there. So they started like this. I'll give you the story. So I was studying at Illinois of Technology in Chicago. And this fellow was in University of Chicago. And he was a piano major, right? But somehow he taught himself how to code. And he became so good at it, he built a software for the university to, I think, manage student retention or whatever. And the university bought that software from him for a few $100,000. Then this guy was like, this is pretty good. I'm a student of piano and I just sold a software without being a software engineer. Why don't I build something else? So he and this guy named Eric Lefkowski is a billionaire, and they decided, chalo, ek saath kuch karte hain, let's build something together. And they came up with a product that was meant for activists. So, social activism, Black Lives Matter and things like that. So they built something. Now, activists were using it, hundreds of thousands of users, but no revenue. Nobody was paying for the premium products. It's like, okay, chalo, let's pivot. Let's move into something else. They moved into something else. After 1.5 years, they found that their niche is advertising. And in advertising and marketing, it was working really well. And that's what Groupon is, where basically you say, let's say you want to go to Nico Park. And let's say the entry fee is 5,000 rupees. But if 10 of your friends go together, you pay, let's say, 500 rupees, 1,000 rupees per person. Group discount you get. So that's what Groupon eventually became. And Google wanted to buy them out for $6 billion, whatnot. Long story short, they're a listed company in the US. Very successful. But the initial startup phase was pivoting, figuring out this market, that market, this market, that market, and find, got it. So that's the difference. Startup phase versus your business where you figured it out, product market fit, and you go all out with it.
Just imagine something. There is a founder or a founding team in the center. Then there is one side there is an investor, one side there are customers, one side there are employees. Okay, all three of them are tied with this founding team with a thread. So employees will want, please give me more salary. Please give me more salary. ठीक है. सारे एम्प्लॉयज़ बोलेंगे ज़्यादा सैलरी दो. इन्वेस्टर क्या बोलेंगे? ज़्यादा रिटर्न दो, गिव मी मोर रिटर्न्स. कस्टमर्स क्या बोलेंगे? गिव मी मोर डिस्काउंट. So that founding team or the founder is the person who has to maintain all the tensions equally. Otherwise, that person is going to fall down, right? I mean, if three sides say if somebody is pulling him, if he satisfies only one party, then the other two are going to be dissatisfied. So the best deal यहाँ पे क्या होगा? When all the parties are little bit dissatisfied. Satisfied तो कोई होगा ही नहीं कभी. Because जहाँ एक party satisfy हुआ ना दूसरा party dissatisfy हो जाएगा. ठीक है? So whatever we call as win-win situation is actually lose-lose situation. Slight lose-lose situation and a little bit of dissatisfaction in all parties. So in any organization, everyone should be little bit dissatisfied. Then only the organization will run. So that's my final takeaway. So if you want to learn how to manage that dissatisfaction, please pursue entrepreneurship.
So I really believe that entrepreneurship, like pursuing a degree in entrepreneurship, will definitely help you a lot with the theories. But theories itself is not enough. Suppose if I ask you that, can you become a singer without practicing singing every day? You cannot. Can you become like the next MS Dhoni without going to the field? But just studying how to play cricket? You cannot. But yeah, studying about cricket is also important. It is also helpful. So this is same for entrepreneurship as well. You need to have the practical experience along with the course you are pursuing. And in most of the cases, I have seen that people actually get stuck with the theories. They plan to do so many things. They watch so many motivational videos by different people in YouTube. But just after keeping the phone, they're like, okay, baad mein karenge. Not right now. People wait for the right time. And I believe the right time is right now.
So going forward, as we look at India, the next 5 years, the next 10 years, what is it going to be? One of the things that you have to be as an entrepreneur is a futurist. Predict the future. What's going to be the problem? What's going to be the path forward? How are people going to live their lives? And based on that, you create a product and services. 5G technology is going to come. As a result of which, the first automation that we will see is in trucks. What I hear from the automotive industry, a lot of the truck companies are now, because highways are easy to automate without driverless and all that, right? So there's going to be automation in trucks and automation in cars. So a lot of drivers will lose their jobs. A lot of things that are ghasa pita people lose their jobs. In fact, the last startup I sold, it was a healthcare billing company. We replaced 90% of the people in that company with our software. What human beings would do in 7 days, my software does in 1/6 of a second. Profitability went through the roof, and the company bought out our company. So the point is, that is the reality of automation and people losing jobs. Now, that's not a scary thing, because there's going to be new jobs that are going to be created and new way of doing things. 5 years ago, we couldn't imagine watching movie at home, ordering food on Zomato, everything at home. Now we prefer to be at home, and everything, parties happen at home only. Right? We have a startup that does parties at home. If they bring everything to your home, entertainment at your doorstep, right? So that's happening. Now going forward, what does it look like? Now with all the digitization, there's going to be cybersecurity issues. There's going to be a lot more hacking and all of that. So there are going to be pain points, and whoever can solve that will make a lot of money. So entrepreneurship is about predicting the future and figuring out what would be the need of the hour 3 years from now and start building on it. Today people will laugh at you. Tomorrow they'll laugh at you. But day after, when everybody is like jumping on the bandwagon, you're already in the game. You're already a known name in the industry. Like when Kolkata Venture started in 2016, entrepreneurship was just starting in Bengal. এখানে কিছু ছিলই না, right? There was like Tyne, Ascom doing some events and whatnot. And we were like, we want to help you guys. They were like, no, we don't need your help. So we said, fine, we'll create our own. And we started Kolkata Ventures. And we were doing virtual incubation from day one. When pandemic hit, everybody else is like, co-working spaces closed, incubation centers closed. They were like, what to do? And we were already virtually incubating. What we did was we expanded to 9 countries. Look, Bengali ব্যবসা হয় না? Now Bengalis are teaching business to 9 countries, to startups in US, Canada, Australia, Nepal, various countries. So point is, you need to know what's the future look like. Elon Musk saw that one day oil would go away. It is a given fact. So you have to have some alternative. And he started Tesla. Electric cars will one day. I still remember my mother came for my graduation and Tesla was giving us free rides at my college. And she's like, this won't happen. I'm like, no, this is going to be the future. Because that time Tesla was Norbody. You know, it was like 6 months wait time. You order for a Tesla and then things were falling apart. Some things were burning up here. So people were like, it's like a toy. It's like a rich man's toy. But look at them today. Elon Musk is the richest person in the world because several years ago he decided this is going to be the future. Right? So similarly, I know there are many of you sitting here today, 10 years from now, you'll be like, thank God I came to that session. And I figured out this is what the world would want tomorrow. And that's why I did it. And today, look at me. So the 1% decide the future of India. And that 1% are entrepreneurs. The 1% who decide the future of India. And I invite you, please take up on this journey. Even if you fail, you will learn so much more than a 10 years worth of MBA. There is no loss in the process. If your parents stop you, tell them, mother, father, I need 2 years to prove myself. If I don't do something good, no problem. I'll come back to doing whatever you want me to do. But if I do something, it will help me take care of you for the rest of your life in a better way. They want to hear that.
So I think like we have covered a bit about the myths, things that we need to know about starting our entrepreneurship journey, why to choose a course in BBA and entrepreneurship, or rather take up a course or a systematic approach towards entrepreneurship. So the takeaway from the discussion, what I believe is like you have to show your values, invest time in training yourself, be open to new ideas, and definitely find a mentor. And have the right attitude, and don't be afraid of failures, because that's the way I think like you can move forward and be a successful citizen of this country.
Yeah, it was good to see so many startup enthusiasts in this seminar, and I wish everyone all the best in their startup journey. May the best person become the unicorn. Thank you very much.
As you noticed, I asked the students initially, how many of you want to be entrepreneurs? Initially, the hands were 6. After the session was over, did you see that was more than 20 people whose hands raised? So that was a transformation in 1.5 hours. So I'm very happy that that happened.
See, first of all, I would really like to appreciate iLead management for arranging this event, because this will definitely help lots of students to get a clear idea, clear picture about entrepreneurship. Still right now, I know so many entrepreneurs are there in the industry, but still people are not having a clear concept about entrepreneurship. And this kind of event, this kind of workshop, this kind of panel discussion will definitely help them to get a clarity which they requires. And not only for the student, it will also help the parents to understand why they should allow their children to choose the field or choose the career of entrepreneurship. And that's why this was a very good experience, and there were so many bright students who were very much interested in entrepreneurship, so it was very nice to interact with them.
Yeah, obviously it was really fabulous, and I have gathered lots of knowledge from this session which is organized by iLead. It's a really great from my side.
This session was very interactive and very helpful, because it helped personally it helped me understand the perspectives of business better. And if any such sessions are there in the future, I would be glad to attend them as well.